Tiny Tales Podcast, Tiny Tales Podcast, Tiny Tales. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Welcome to the deep dive.
Yeah.
So, when most people think about the Mandela Effect, we're usually talking about, trivia.
Right. Pop culture stuff.
Exactly. Was it Berenstain or Berenstein? Do you character have a monocle? But today, we're taking that concept and we are plunging right into the middle of a really intense personal crisis.
That's the mission for this deep dive. We're looking at one specific source, Eli's story, because it's just such a powerful case study in cognitive dissonance.
Right.
We're moving beyond, collective misremembering and looking at the raw, painful shock when one person finds out a huge, life-altering event.
Like a family member's death.
Exactly. A death and a funeral that just doesn't exist in their memory at all.
And that's the shortcut for you, the listener. It's a way to get past the theory and straight into the genuine psychological impact this can have. When your own personal history just collapses, you're not just confused. You're questioning everything, your own mind.
And your shared reality with the people you trust most, it really forces you to ask, how can I be so certain about my own life, only to find out that I'm completely wrong?
And in Eli's case, this gap in reality lasted for over a year.
A whole year.
So let's set the stage. Let's paint the picture of Eli's life before this all went down. He was 18 years old.
And he was incredibly close with his uncle. I mean, they lived together.
Yeah, he says they hung out every day, did everything together. They were basically inseparable.
And that closeness, that proximity, that's the first critical piece of context here. This wasn't some distant relative.
Not at all.
And the second piece is the family health situation. So Eli's grandmother, the uncle's mother, she'd been sick for a really, really long time.
Yeah, he said she'd been battling cancer for about 30 years.
30 years. So this established a chronic illness. It's part of the family story. Her passing wouldn't have been a total shock out of the blue.
But in Eli's memory, at this point in time, she was absolutely 100% alive.
Right. And he even has a specific memory that, for him, confirms it. So his grandmother lived in a whole different state, but she decided to give his uncle a car.
And in Eli's version of events, the reason was simple.
Totally simple. She gave him the car just to be nice.
A kind gesture. A gift from a living relative who's far away.
Exactly. And that brings us to the behavior, the thing that later becomes this irrefutable proof for him.
The joke.
The joke. Because they were so close living together, Eli had this running gag. He was constantly hitting his uncle with the classic yo mama joke.
You don't do that if someone's mother has recently passed away.
You don't. I mean, that's the social contract, right? If you're making a your mama joke, you're both working under the assumption that the mom is, not recently deceased.
It's the foundation of his reality. That joke is his proof. If she had died, that joke would have stopped instantly. It would have become this huge emotional landmine.
Precisely. As long as he could say it and his uncle didn't get mad, his grandmother was alive. Simple as that.
So this is his stable reality. And it just continues business as usual until one day he's at his own mother's house.
And the conversation is totally normal until she casually mentions his grandmother's funeral.
Wow.
Can you just imagine that moment? Everything just stops, that sudden feeling that the world is not what you think it is.
He describes his reaction as shocked, to say the least. But what's so interesting is how hard it was for him to even form the question.
Yeah, how do you even ask that?
How do you turn to your own mother and ask, hey, did my grandma die when I'm completely sure she didn't?
And on top of the confusion, there's this layer of embarrassment. He's trying to figure out how he could have missed a funeral. A funeral.
The social pressure of that alone is huge.
Huge. But his mom is just completely certain. She assures him definitely died.
And not recently.
No, like a year ago.
A full year. A year of him living in this alternate timeline, joking with his grieving uncle about his dead mother.
And the emotion that hits him isn't just confusion, it's sadness. He says he loved my grandma a lot, and that he just knows he would have mourned tremendously.
But there's no memory of it, no grief, no service, nothing. It's just a blank space where a major life event should be.
And if we step back for a second, from a purely psychological standpoint, I mean, if they lived together, how did the uncle go through that grief without Eli noticing?
That's a huge question. The uncle's silence is almost as strange as Eli's memory gap.
It's baffling. But for Eli, the focus wasn't on his uncle's behavior. It was on his own proof, his own timeline.
Which brings us right back to the joke.
Yeah.
That's the first piece of evidence he holds on to prove he's not crazy.
The yo mama joke. He says he knew for a fact she never died in his timeline because he would never have joked with him like that had his mom been dead.
And he doubles down. He says the uncle definitely would have got mad.
Exactly. The lack of a reaction becomes the proof. The absence of anger is the evidence that in their shared day-to-day life, the death hadn't happened.
So, armed with this new, terrifying information from his mom, he does the only thing he can do.
He goes to the key witness.
His uncle.
And the uncle confirms it all. Yes, she died. Yes, there was a funeral. But then he delivers the second piece of evidence, the one that shatters Eli's memory of the car.
What did he say?
Eli asks about it, and the uncle links the death directly to the car. He says, that's why she left me the car.
Oh, well.
Left me the car.
That changes everything. The entire story of the car is now different.
Completely different. Just think about the two narratives. In Eli's memory, the car is a casual gift, just to be nice. A sweet gesture.
But in this new reality, the one everyone else agrees on, the car is an inheritance, a bequest. It's tied directly to her death.
It's not a gift anymore. It's a final asset. The entire emotional weight of that car sitting in their driveway just shifts. It becomes solemn.
So now he's trapped. He's got his behavioral proof, the joke that says she was alive.
And he's got the material proof, the car, which now confirms she was dead. His reality has been split right down the middle.
And at the time, before he had any theory for this, he just concluded that he says something really sci-fi had happened.
Yeah. He had absolutely no explanation, just this profound, unsettling feeling that he'd somehow slipped into a different timeline.
And he just has to sit with that feeling of isolation, being the only one who remembers the world one way.
For years.
He holds on to that until, as he puts it, a few years later.
And the explanation, or at least a name for it, finally arrives when the Mandela Effect theory went viral around the world.
It goes from being this niche internet thing to a mainstream conversation.
And for Eli, that must have been an incredible aha moment.
He said it was immediate. He realized, oh my God, that's what happened. That explains what happened with me and my grandma.
So this theory, which can sound kind of silly when you're talking about movie quotes, suddenly provides a framework for this deeply personal, deeply confusing experience.
It gave him a category for his reality gap.
And that's really the core takeaway here for you, the listener. This whole experience shows that the Mandela Effect isn't always about shared trivial history. Sometimes it's about intensely personal, verifiable events that just shatter your sense of your own life.
Right. And what makes this deep dive so valuable is that it grounds this huge philosophical idea in really small, concrete details.
The timing of a car gift.
And the appropriateness of a joke. That's all it took to convince him that his reality was fundamentally different from everyone else's.
Which leaves us with a pretty uncomfortable final thought for you to consider. If our own memories, tied to the most important events in our life, like the death of a loved one, can be so completely wrong, what does that say about the trustworthiness of our own personal history?
If the things you know for a fact didn't happen, what can you actually be certain of?
What else have you misremembered that everyone you know confirms as undeniable fact? It's something to think about the next time you tell a story about your own past.
Tiny Tales Podcast. Tiny Tales Podcast. Tiny Tales. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.